Um, just bear with me for a moment. All right, I'll start off with saying Shalom. Of course, I want to give all praise to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Yahweh, which is named the Most High, and Yahweh Shai, which is the name of the only begotten Son, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. And I'm just doing what's the word I'm looking for? It's not an open panel today. I'm not on StreamYard, just to give a disclaimer. I just wanted to go live, just for there's a lot going on right now, man. For y'all out there, haven't been keeping up with the news, man. Say, look, especially those of us in the know, man. If you're in the know, you better have your eyes on that news, man. You better be watching what the hell's going on, in the world, man. You got guys going around out here like, Russian vids and these other guys, that are, popular and the quote unquote, truth community. They have a saying that goes, his saying, he says, is truth in movies and lies in the news. So basically they believe that anything you see on the TV, you can't trust it. Right, so everything you see on the TV, all that's fake, right? There's no real events that take place in the world. So somehow out of, a world of 8 billion human beings, there's never any type of real events, any real type of acts of violence that take place. Anytime you see an event that happens, it's always, something fake, just to scare people, is what they believe, which that is just so illogical and retarded, to say something like that. It's unbelievable, but that's what some of these guys believe, man. That anything they see on TV, they'll be skeptical and, believe it ain't real. So, oh, and hold on a second. Someone said, I believe that's a Rudy in the chat. He said, those events are stagism. So I believe he probably believes that too. It looks like what I'm reading. But you would have to, you'd have to prove that to me, that everything in the world that happens is not real. I mean, you would have to, show me that, man. Because that's just, that's illogical. That's an illogical fallacy. Look that word up. That's not sensical to believe that. Obviously, in the world of out of 8 billion people, obviously there's real events that take place in the world. I mean, anyone that disagrees with that, you're just not living in real life. It's very simple. What's going on with the war right now, which is a little bit of old news. This happened, over 24 hours ago. But the Russians, they lost pretty much the, what is it, the mega warship they got there. I don't know the name of it, but, the biggest warship they have on the battlefield right now, man. That got taken down by 2 missiles. So right now that ship's, sitting at the bottom of the sea, man. And even, the Russian news agency, there was one of them that basically was saying that, in response to what happened, pretty much, World War III has officially started. That's what they said. And they're right on that, right? They're right on that, right? That World War III has officially begun, right? Because other nations are going to start to get involved in this. That's why Russia made a statement and said that, they said that, America and NATO need to stop, sending in supplies, to Ukraine, right? As if you don't stop, then you're going to be, there's going to be devastating consequences, if you continue to ship weaponry and whatever else into the country. They warned them, hey, you better back off. Because just from a logical standpoint, that makes sense. That just logically speaking, that just makes sense, right? America and NATO are collaborators because they're sending armory in that's used to kill Russians, right? So obviously that's a collaborator in the war, right? So Russia gave them, a friendly request, such as, hey, back off, and stop, sending in arms, because if you don't stop, there's going to be consequences. And just from a logical standpoint, that makes sense. Let's see what's going on in the chat. Shalom to Bible Defender. Shalom to DJ Spin. This brother here. I'm not sure. Let's see. Hold on. Chief Keef. I'm not sure what you mean by that question there. I'm not necessarily sure what you mean by that. Maybe you can reiterate that question. Hey, well, Rudy, man, you just gotta gotta get called up on what's going on in the world, man. You told me they didn't say that. Well, they did. Go look it up. As I said, man, some of you guys, and you know who you are, right? But some guys, man, would rather sit there and argue in the chat all day, instead of doing research on their own. And that's coming from a guy in there, right, Rudy? I'm not hating on the brother, but we had him on. Yesterday he hopped on, to our live chat on StreamYard. It wanted to debunk what we're saying. But then when we asked him, like, why do you, not agree? Like, just simply asking for his standpoint or why he sees differently. And he's not even capable of explaining that. So, I mean, and I'm not making fun of the brother, but I mean, come on, man. If you disagree, you need to have a position on why you disagree. Like, if I say that Jesus is a black man and you say he's a white man, you need to have a reason of why you believe that. You can't just say that, to say it. You have to be able to prove the statements that you make. But yeah, man, it's crazy what's going on right now, man. And I think that's the very least that can be said, man. That it's crazy because don't forget, I think a lot of us, it has slipped the mind that we're still living in a a global crisis right now. I have to watch the words that I use to describe it, of course. But you know what I'm talking about. That happens to slip the mind. Most people, forget that for some reason, right? Everyone's focused right now on, this war going on. But then here it is at the same time, we're still 2 years into, this circumstance that's going on. And it's only getting worse. So I think people forgot about that, that we're 2 years. Think about that. That's crazy, man. Right in the 21st century, who would think that there could arise a, I may say a pestilence that, would have the whole world in fear for over 2 years. That's crazy. Right? No one would believe that. Hell, if you told someone that back in 2016, 2017, man, no one would believe you. No one would believe you if you told them that, within a couple of years, the whole world would basically be shut down multiple times. No one would believe that. That's a wacky conspiracy until it actually happened, which is still happening today. Just like, dealing with the whole war going back to before they invaded. Everyone was on the comment board like, don't worry, this is all just, to put fear in people. Right? This is all just to put fear into people. They're not planning to invade. And even Putin has started to, come out and say that he's, withdrawing his troops from the area, right? So the people were, starting to wind down, because they're saying that they're, what do they call them? War games, right? They're training, whatever word you like to use, right? Their training that they're doing is coming to an end, so now they're withdrawing from the area, and people were saying, "Oh, we'll see." They were just training, right? They're not planning on invading any countries. And here it is. they they go in there, and we're almost, what is it, 53 days, I believe, 54 days. You can correct me. But we're that far in to this invasion, man. And guys were on the comment board saying it wasn't going to happen. Oh, like Primal Man, right? Primal Man, he told me in Bible Defender, oh, guys, calm down, there's not going to be any type of war. They're just, it's just to distract people. There's nothing that's going to happen with it. It's all just fear mongering, they call it, right? Or fear porn is what some would call it. And then guess what? Then they invade. So then we asked Primal Man, he's like, wait a second, you said nothing was going to happen. So then we ask him, we confront him on it, because he was, of the belief that nothing was going to happen. So then we ask him, well, wait, what do you think now that something did happen? And we couldn't get a hold for the guy. We couldn't get a hold of him for like 3 weeks, right? We couldn't get across to the guy for like 3 weeks doing our messages. And again, he's the guy who believes we're living in the kingdom of heaven today. So, I mean, that's just outlandish, in and of itself. Yeah. I agree with you, Rudy. Primal Man doesn't know what the hell is going on, man. I saw that he was on, he was on with Perry the other day, man. I got to go back and watch the video. I have so much I have to watch. I literally have what's the word I'm looking for? On the watch later playlist, right? You know what that is. I have literally 5,000 videos, and when I say that, I'm not exaggerating. I'm literally saying 5,000 videos on there that I gotta watch, right? So I'm limited with what I can watch. As I can't, see everything coming in because I have such a long list of stuff I wanted to watch from the past. It's hard to get caught up on everything, but I seen that Primal Man was live with Perry the other night, and they were talking about, Primal Man was trying to convince him that we're all living in the kingdom of heaven. So I got to go back and watch that. That's going to be a fun discussion, to listen to. But that's outlandish. You have one guy on there who believes that he can't sin, right? He's perfect, and then the opponent to him is a guy who believes that Christ already returned and that we're living in the kingdom of heaven. So I mean, that's ridiculous right there. That's quality entertainment right there. Quality entertainment. Let me see. Just grab a drink real quick. Bear with me. No, but going back to my statement, man. What's it's crazy what's going on right now. It's there's no easy words to describe it other than that. There's nothing else that you could describe it easier than that. Um, not cut these days short, nobody would be able to be saved because that's how bad the times are that we're coming into right now. And I mean, hell, shit's already too bad, and nothing really happened yet. But everyone's financially desperate out here, man. In Babylon the Great, which is America, not no Vatican City, by the way. For any peons out there who still believe that, like Rock Upon Him or Tried and Died and Laid to the Side, right? It's, as I said, man, you know, it's unbelievable, what's going on. And then another, thought that crossed my mind earlier. I was looking at the sun earlier, and it just it boggles the mind, that we're told or that sun is 93 million miles away. Keep in mind, not 93,000, but 93 million. It's hard to wrap one's mind around how much that actually is, right? But here's the problem with that. And the problem is that I was watching earlier the sun and the clouds that were around it, and I happened to notice that why is it that the clouds that are, closer to the sun, you can tell that they're more illuminated, the ones that are, say, maybe half a mile away from the ones that are directly, appear to be under the sun. They're more illuminated than the ones over there. Now, the question would be, is how could that be possible if the sun is 93 million miles away? That should not be possible. And then, even more odd or even more strange would be if you watched, what do they call these things? High altitude weather balloon footage. Right, these weather balloons are flying at like, what is it, 120 some thousand feet in the air, if not higher than that. When on a lot of these videos, you'll notice that the sun, directly underneath the sun on the clouds under it, there's a hot spot. Now, the question is if the sun really is 93 million miles away, well, how the hell is there a sunspot, right, a heat spot directly under the sun on the clouds that are underneath where the sun appears to be in the sky? That can't be possible. That's just literally impossible if the sun really is 93 million miles away from the earth. That's just not possible. And I need any person who believes in the round spinning globe, you need to explain how that can happen. Because I've never seen anyone who looked at those pictures or the video footage we have of this event taking place. Nobody can explain it. It can't be explained. All they can say is, well, that's fake. And it isn't fake. It's real. So there's no way to explain it other than our modern beliefs that we've been told must be incorrect. There's no other way to explain it. And again, I challenge anyone. I challenge anybody, who's a round earther, right, a ball earther. Challenge anyone. Tell me, how does that happen with a sun that's 93 million miles away from the earth? How can there be heat spots on the top of these clouds that are directly right underneath the sun? It just makes no sense. It makes absolutely no sense. And no one can explain it. So I would argue and say that one proof alone, that should make you, question the model of the earth that we were all taught, man. Because that's an inconsistency right there. That's one major inconsistency with the doctrine that we're being told. And I'll say it one more time. I'll say it again. We challenge anyone, who disagrees with what we're saying. You tell me what that means. You tell me how that's possible. How could that happen to clouds directly underneath the sun if the sun is 93 million miles away from the earth? Impossible. Can't happen. And then the moon is another story in and of itself. Because if you look at the moon in the night sky, you'll notice that the clouds that are directly, in front of the moon, they're more illuminated than the clouds that are in any other direction, not basically in front of the moon. The ones in front are more illuminated than any of the other clouds in the area. So the question is, if the moon is, I believe they say, 230,000 miles away from the earth? Just a rough estimate along those lines. But if that is true, well, why is the moon illuminating just a small area directly in front of it. That don't make no sense. That doesn't make any sense if we're going along with the story that we were taught in the school. That doesn't make any sense. And again, I challenge anyone to give an answer to how that can happen. And I'm yet to see one. I am yet to see anybody answer those questions. And then another one, another hard hitter is dealing with water, right? Because water, it can never be demonstrated how over a vast, say, landmass, water could curve. Water, whatever container it's put in, it will all find its level. It doesn't matter how long the container is. Say if we make a container that's literally a mile long and you put water into it, guess what's going to happen? That water is going to remain perfectly level over that entire mile in that container. So the argument is, hear me out. The question is at what distance does water begin to curve? Right? Because we cannot demonstrate that water can curve at all. So we need to know how exactly that happens and at what point can we demonstrate that, taking place. And, we can't really have an answer on that. Nobody can really give an answer, to when that happens. And then one of my personal favorites, you ask somebody, at what distance can I myself see the curvature of the world? Some guys will tell you can see it from the seashore. Just go to the shore and and watch the ships, go over the horizon and see that's the curvature of the earth. Others would tell you got to be on the top of a hotel building, by the beach, and then you can, see the curve. Some say you got to be on the top of a mountain, and then you can see the curvature. Others will tell you got to be, in an airplane. You can look out an airplane window and you can see the curvature of the earth, right? So the question is, well, if all of these are in contradiction to one another, why is it that, the world famous, what's this guy, astrophysicist, um, oh hell, what's this black guy's name? Oh yeah, Neil deGrasse Tyson, right? Neil deGrasse Tyson. He was doing a, stand-up talk show. And the topic he was discussing at the time was this guy who did that Red Bull, edge of space jump. I believe it was, what's this guy, Felix Bob Gardner or something like that. And he was doing a commentary on it, making fun of it because they call it an edge of space jump. And he was saying, look, that at 100 and, what is it, 170, how many, let's see, how many feet was he? I believe it was 127,000 feet. You can look it up yourself. Just look up Red Bull Edge of Space Jump on Google, and it would tell you the exact distance. I believe off the top of the head, it was 127,000 feet above the earth. So getting back to what I was saying, is from that height, and Neil goes on to explain, that you cannot see a curve to the earth. At that height, you cannot see any type of curvature to the world. So wait a second. So this world famous astrophysicist said that 127,000 feet, that's not even high enough to see any type of curvature to the world. But yet, the average person will tell you all you got to do is go to the seashore and you can see the curve, or go to the top of an apartment complex and you can, stand on a balcony or on the roof and see the curve. Others would say you got to go to the top of a mountain and see it. Some will say got to go on a plane and see it. But yet the world famous astrophysicist Neil deGrasse Tyson said that you can't even see any type of curvature from 127,000 feet. So, again, who do I believe then? I mean, you all can't be right. I mean, it flies in the face of all logic. How can all of those statements be proof? It just doesn't make any sense. We need an exact answer for at what height do we have to go, right? What altitude do we need to ascend in order to visibly see with our own eyes the earth curving? And nobody can give that. There's no exact answer anyone can give, because I just gave, what is it, 4 or 5 examples of contradictory statements that the average person will give that, clearly doesn't answer the question. And the answer is, nobody can really answer the question. Yeah, Bible Defender said, we need some real videos from NASA. Yeah, we need real videos from NASA. You can't trust, what you're seeing on, this live feed from space. You can't believe that. Just as Bible Defender said there, right? All those videos of space are fake. Yeah, that's all fake. And I have to ask this, though. You see, I was listening to these guys, for years, talk about the splatter stuff, expose NASA. I've been listening to that for years. But one thing I never heard anybody talk about, and it seems very odd to me, but this is how I view it, that you would think that since we supposedly went to the moon in the 60s, right? For argument's sake, let's just go with that for a second, all right? Just for argument's sake, let's say we did go there. It's like, okay, cool. So we went there in the 60s. So why is it now that in 2022 we don't have, a moon base, right? Or we don't have, any type of small civilization on the surface of the moon? Think about how, think about the benefits of having a small civilization living on the surface of the moon. Think about the benefits that would give humans. Because remember this, they're talking about by 2030, they want to send people to Mars, right? To colonize the planet Mars. So you would think if they really want to do that, well, why don't we first experiment with, the moon, right? The closest planet to us. Let's experiment, and we can find out, about what it's like to live on other planets, right? With the closest planet we have around us. We can experiment by, going over there, setting up a few bases there, right? Colonize the moon, and we can learn about, how it is to live on another planet outside of the Earth. And the moon is so close to the Earth, we could, send supplies over to them, right? We can, import, people, or what's the word I'm looking? Could I use the word import? Yeah, we could go with that word. We could import or bring people to the moon from the Earth and bring them back from the moon safely, right? Which the whole Van Allen belt, that's a whole nother topic in itself, but we'll leave that out of the discussion. And just think about how scientifically that would benefit the human race by first colonizing the moon, the planet closest to the Earth other than the sun, so we can learn how it, affects the human body to live on a planet that's not the Earth. And all the scientific, advancements that would give us by having people living, right, colonizing on the moon. So the fact that we don't have that by 2022 just shows it's all bullshit. It's undeniable. It's undeniable. So how is it that you want to talk about going to Mars and colonizing that by 2030, but you don't even have people that are living on the moon yet? And again, think about all the scientific innovations that would be, for our species by having people living on the moon, and colonizing there. We can learn all about living on other planets, and see how the human body reacts, dwelling on another, planet that's not the Earth. And if anything goes wrong, we can bring those people back from the moon to the Earth because it's literally only 230,000 miles away. So, I mean, the fact that we don't have that by 2022 shows that it's all BS. It's not real. And then another fact is, let alone the colonization of the moon, let that alone for a second, at least give us a 24/7 live feed from the surface of the moon. You would think after all of the hundreds of billions of dollars that NASA has received, over the years. As remember, they're getting $50 million every single day. Right, $50 million NASA's getting every single day, from the government and funding. So you would think that by now we would have a 24/7 live feed directly from the surface of the moon. That's just only logical to think that way. And once again, think of how many scientific breakthroughs we could gain from having a live feed from the surface of the moon. And then not only that, but the public would like that, right? That would be educational for school children, right? Other people would think it's interesting, right, to watch a stream from the moon. And you can brag about it, right? Oh yeah, America, yeah, we got a live feed on the surface of the moon, right? You Russians didn't do that, right? You would think that would be something to brag about, right? That our country got, a 24/7 live feed from the surface of the moon. You would think. And that would, once again, be another breakthrough. But the fact that we don't have that shows that there's something wrong. Again, going by the two statements I made, the fact that we have not colonized the moon by 2022, and the fact that we don't have a live feed from the surface of the moon, proves that we can't go there. Which NASA admitted that we can't go to the moon. But that's a whole nother can of beans in itself. Just off of the practical perspective, it proves that we haven't been there and that we can't get there. Because if we did go there and that we can get there, you'd think that we'd have both of the things I just mentioned by, this year we're in. It would just make logical sense. Let's see. Oh, hold on a second. Hold on. Bear with me just 1 second. Rudy said they lost the technology to take them to the moon. Yeah, I seen the NASA, scientist who was saying, oh, I would go to the moon, in a nanosecond, but the problem is we lost that technology, and it's a painful process to build it back again. Those are the exact words that he said in the interview they were having with him. And why they weren't going to the moon, at the moment. And wait a second, think about that. That's another red flag right there. Because wait, you went to the moon with 60s technology. In the 60s, nobody had iPads, iPhones, laptops. So wait a second. We're in 2022. With the technology we have available to us today, we can't get to the moon. But somehow we went to the moon in the 60s, though. Just think about that. So they're saying they destroyed the technology. Okay, well, let's just roll with that ideology for a second. Let's roll with that idea for a second. So if you did destroy the 60s technology, well, how painful can it really be to build the technology back again now that we're in the year 2022? I mean, think about that. You went to the moon supposedly with the 60s technology, but how can you not get back there with the advanced technology we have available to us today? How can you not get back today? I mean, that just doesn't make any sense. That just makes no logical sense at all. So, okay, so you destroyed the technology. Okay, cool. But is it really that hard to build back again? I mean, you went with 60s technology. Look how advanced we are today compared to the 60s. So today you can't make technology to take you there? I mean, that seems a little bit odd. If I had to say so myself, that don't really make sense. That just doesn't make sense. But the public will believe it and they'll repeat it, right? They'll believe it and they will repeat it, because they don't know better, right? That nobody really thinks to ask questions, which we do, right? We'll ask questions, right? We'll ask the most controversial questions, is what we'll do, right? When no one else will, right? We'll be the ones who stand up and ask these questions. Hey, what's up, Alston? Welcome to the show, Jessica. And shalom to so-called Mexicans are the tribe of Issachar. I believe that's Manny, if I'm not mistaken. I believe Mina Golf said that's Manny who's there. Let's see. Alston asked, "Are you the guy bothering Brian? What's that name? Stavley? No, I don't know who the hell that is, man. You got the I don't know who the hell that is. Oh, if you're talking about, maybe you misspelled it. Are you talking about Good Servant? Are you talking about Steven? Because if you are, me and Good Servant, we know each other, right? We're cool. I talked to him, outside of the YouTube, right? We're cool. He don't really let me on, because I tried to hop on with him yesterday. I tried to hop on with Good Servant yesterday, to have a chat with him. He didn't let me on for some reason, but then he said, "Oh, another time's cool, man." So I was like, "Oh, okay, that's fine, man. I'll hop on another time. That's cool." So we worked it out with that. Austin said, "No, Brian Stavley." Nah, I don't know who the hell that is, man. I'm not sure who the hell that is. Tell me their YouTube panel, right? Tell me what their panel name is on YouTube, and then maybe I'll know who you're talking about. But other than that, I don't know who the hell that is. Hey, shalom to Luke. How you doing, man? Hold on. Austin said, "End time apostles. You are end time teachers." Linked to Brian Stavley. Nah, nah. I don't know. I don't know who the hell that is, man. Maybe they have a similar name to me, but that don't mean that we're related. Like, I'll give you a perfect example. Someone brought to my attention the other day, there's a channel out there that's called End Time Headlines. So the first two words of our panel name, they're the same, but the last one's different, right? So that don't mean we're affiliated just because we have two of the similar names in our title, right? That don't mean that, right? There's a guy whose page out there is called End Time Headlines. That don't mean we're related just because he has a similar name. So I don't know who the hell that is, man. Just to answer your question, I'm not sure who the hell you're talking about. Let's see. Hey, what's up, Ridge? Shalom, man. And again, this is not open panel. This is not open panel. I'm not on StreamYard, but this is just an open chat. Oh, Brian said. Oh, hold on a second. Austin said, Brian Stavley, Mandela effect. I know about the Mandela effect. Do I believe in it? I wouldn't say so, but I do know the theory behind it, right? That there's like certain things that were changed. Yeah, I know all about that. Guys, where that was a popular subject not too long ago. So yeah, I know about that, and I believe I know the story behind it, right? That guy you just mentioned. Yeah, I know about that. Um, Let me see. Hey, Austin, Austin, man, I don't know why the hell you're here. I just told you, I don't know who the hell you're talking about, man. So either you got the wrong page or you're just a troll. I don't know what else to tell you, man. Hey, Austin, how about you hop on the panel and ask me about it? How about you hop on when we go live and you can ask me, what you want to ask? Because I already answered the question for you here 3 times, and apparently you didn't like the answer. So, I mean, what else do you want from me, man? Hide behind the computer. I'm not even on a computer. What the hell are you talking about, man? I don't even own a computer. Just to be honest with you, I don't even own a computer, man. In case you didn't know that. Let me just grab a drink real quick. Oh, Christ, man. As a Bible defender said, right? A lot of actors. Oh, Jay would probably play that Mind the Golf little clip that he got, right, of him saying everyone's actors, right, and that people are mentally retarded, and he's right on that, right? He's right on that. Got to give him credit. Um, let's see. Hey, Ridge, Austin doesn't know what the hell he's talking about, man. Austin, I said you can't hop on here because this is not on a StreamYard. In case you're not familiar with what that means, which if you are, that means you really don't know what the hell you're talking about. Um, if you stream from YouTube, that's a solo platform that people can't hop in. But if I stream on StreamYard, I can put a link in the chat and everybody can hop in and have a discussion. But I'm not on StreamYard at the moment, so I can't do that, just in case you were not aware. Which, if my memory serves me correct, didn't I say in the very title of this video that this is not on StreamYard? Someone can let me know in the comments. But I believe I even said that. So, I don't know what the hell you're saying, man. Oh, I think I figured it out. I think I figured it out. Austin, are you LOP by any chance? Let me see. Oh well, hey, look, that statement right there proved that Austin's just a damn troll. That statement proved it right there. So I'll just address that and then we'll move on. But he got cut 6 ways to Subway with that comment he just made. I know now he's playing games. He said, you peggings eating your bacon. I believe he meant to say bacon and pork and harassing prophets. And he spelled the word profits. He spelled it like profit, like money, right? Like gaining money of the Most High. I mean, oh man, that guy's a damn joke, man. He spelled bacon wrong. He spelled bacon wrong and profits. Oh man. Man, you gave me, hey, look, Austin, man, I'll give you credit, man. You gave me the best laugh I've had all day, man. Oh, man, you gave me the best laugh I had all day. He said, Austin said, Egish is not my first language. Anyway, man, hey, Austin, man, either you're a troll or you can just get lost, man. I don't know who the hell Brian is. That's my answer. If you don't accept that, then you can just get lost. I mean, I don't know what the hell you're even here for, man. Let's see what the hell else is going on. Uh, Luke asked, "Do you like Sakari music?" Yeah, man, I like to listen to Deacon, the Deacon Sakari. I like his rap music. I listen to it. Even Mina Golf admitted that he listens to to Deacon's raps as well. I got to give credit to Deacon. Now even dating skills and also with the rapping skills, I think they're very talented. I will say that. I'll give him credit. And yeah, I like Deacon's rap music. I have it saved to one of my playlists. I listen to it frequently sometimes. Don't like all the songs, but a handful of them I do enjoy to listen to. As I said, I'll give him credit because it's not necessarily easy to rap in general, but then it's not easy as well to rap about the scriptures, which is primarily what he raps about. His raps are consistent with the scriptures, right? Rapping about the scriptures. So that's even more difficult to do, so you got to give him, double credit, compared to just a worldly rapper, which I know they even have Christian rap as well. I used to listen to a couple of those. I'd have to go back and listen to the songs again. I wouldn't know the names off the top of the head, but I know they even got Christian rap songs as well. Some of those are very well put together. So give them credit too. Let me see. Hey, leave Austin alone. We know he's just LOP, so just leave him alone. He's just trolling. Am I ever gonna? Someone asked, am I gonna make a video about the Bohemian Grove? No, I don't. I know what that is. I know that. What's this guy? Didn't Alex Jones sneak in there supposedly and take a video? I seen that, right? I know about it. But nah, I don't really talk about that type of stuff. Like, I mean, you can mention it. That's fine. But I don't have the time to, to put it together a 30-minute, video, at least at this moment. Welcome to click the link and hop in. You're welcome to do that. I just can't do it now because I'm not on that particular app. So at the moment I can't do that because I don't have that ability from where I'm streaming. That's literally not on this platform I'm in case you didn't know that, which I already told you 6 times. No, but apparently, characters have poor hearing skills. Might have to clear out some of that earwax. Oh man. Oh yeah, that's cool. That's cool, Ridge. That's cool. Um, you have my number, man. Right, Ridge, you got my number. You're welcome to call me. And we can have a private discussion, right? We can record the private discussion and just upload it as a video, right? I'm fine with doing that, man. Because I remember we did one a year ago. And that would be good, man. Right? So if you want to do that, reach out to me. We can record a private discussion and upload it as a video. I also like to do those, man. But yeah, you can reach out to me, man. We can do something like that. Let me see a second. Hold on. Let me just open my. Just bear with me a second here. I gotta get some. Just give me 1 second. All right. Just had to plug in something real quick. Actually, let me say this. Let me say this to Ridge. Ridge, if you're able to, maybe we can do it in like 15 minutes. If you're available, maybe we can chat for a couple minutes. Because I have my other phone here I can record. You know, if you want to have a little chat, I can't stay for too long tonight. But if you do want to do that, maybe I can, maybe I'll be able to do so, if you'd like. Let's see. TXDAP asks what topics you're discussing tonight. Eh, we're just flowing through the spirit, so to speak, man. Any subject matter, can come up. I was speaking about, flat Earth, the war earlier, and some stuff like that, you know, but um, but yeah, it's open discussion. Hey, that's cool, Ridge. That's cool. If you want to do it another day, man, that's totally fine. But I do have a question for you, though, Ridge. I do have a question for you. My question is have you read any other books yet? And how many books do you have in your book collection, right? Because I just find it odd, right? I'm not picking on you or nothing. I'm just asking a real question. I just find it odd. Why do you like to collect books but you don't read them? Because don't get me wrong, I have books, right? I probably have a good 25 books that I own, but I read them though, right? If I buy a book, I read it, right? So I'm just like intrigued, from your viewpoint, right? If you don't read them, why do you like to collect them? Do you like the look of them, or you get my curiosity behind that? Damn, Rich said, I probably have 100 or more, and I haven't read any. Damn, man, that's crazy, man. That's a lot of books. But I mean, you should try to give them a read, man. At some point in time, you should probably try to read some of those, man. As I said, I'm just curious, why don't you like to read them? Because I would think that if you collect them, as a hobby, I would think you'd enjoy, reading them, at least some of them, you know, at some point in time. You get my curiosity behind that. He said it's fun collecting them. It's like a knowledge collection. Yeah, I get that, man. But like, how do you get the knowledge from them though if you don't read them? Like, I know they look cool, right? To have a personal library inside. Joke. I know it looks cool to have a personal, you know, bookshelf full in your room. That looks cool. I got that too. But I actually read them, right? That's how you get the knowledge of what's written inside. Let's see. He said, and the reason is because I can't focus on reading after like a paragraph. My mind wanders off, and yeah, I I look the looks, excuse me, and the content. Let me read that last part again. It says, and yeah, I like the looks and the content. Excuse me for missing that word. Um, but yeah, man, that's cool. If that's what floats your boat, then you do that, But I was just curious on that, because it just, from my understanding, it just doesn't make sense, to not read them. But hey, as I said, if that's cool with you, then you do you. You do what you want. That's cool, man. Um, but yeah, man, but I got to ask this as well, man. Ridge, do you have any like book recommendations that you'd recommend that I look into? Because I'll actually read them, right? I'll actually read the books. So if you got over 100, there must be 10 or 15 in there that you could recommend, dealing with the subject matters that we often discuss. If you got any recommendations, I can look into them, man. Because I got a couple that I'm looking to get right now. There's a book out there called oh shit, I believe the book's called, um, what is it, Dead Man's Secrets, I believe, which is a book about the, like ancient technology, right? To show you like ancient structures we have around the world, um, where, it proves that the ancient people who lived had to have some type of advanced technology to move these, hundreds of thousands of pounds of stones and to, cut them with such precision, that we can't even do it today without the advanced technology that we have. We would have to use that in order to cut the stones as perfect as they used it. So if we have to use our advanced technology, well, how the hell do they do it then? Like, I'll give you a perfect example. Just go on YouTube and look up the Puma Punku sites or Stonehenge, right? Just to give two examples, right? How the hell did they do that? Leave alone the, Egyptian pyramids. Leave that alone, right? That's a whole nother topic in itself. So it's very odd. How the hell did they do those, feats that we can't even do today unless we use our advanced technology? Oh, all right. Hey, keep it civil in the chat, man. Right, Rudy, keep it civil, man. No reason to argue there. Just keep it civil, man. Um, Let me just grab a drink real quick. All right. Um, but yeah, man, it's just it's crazy, man. It's just crazy. What the hell's going on? You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's just the way you gotta look at it, man. But the thing that baffles my mind is you still have guys going around who are supposedly, in this truth, right? Who are in the know, who still believe, in um these wacky theories such as, Christ already returned in 70 AD, and that we're living in the kingdom of heaven today. I mean, that's just unbelievable, man. Unbelievable. But then when you actually challenge, the person who holds these beliefs, you ask them, certain questions such as, what can you show me from the past, right? Like historical document or writings from the past where people witnessed, Christ return in the sky, and bring this destruction, on the world stage, specifically to Jerusalem back then, because that's the main event that they say that he returned and, did. But where's the part, from history where people claim that they seen him return? What document is there? I've never seen one. So, if not even one exists, why would you argue, or how could you argue and say that it already happened? That just don't make no sense. That's not logical. Bear with me a second. Invisible War said the UFOs aren't what are doing it. What do you mean are not what's doing it? What are they not doing? You got to speak proper English, my friend. You got to speak proper English, inside joke. Right? What do you mean by that statement? And by the way, UFOs are the chariots of the Most High. You tried to argue against that yesterday, but you really couldn't. You admitted you didn't really have, a way to refute that. Because we asked you about it, and you couldn't refute it. He said the Egyptians didn't use UFOs. I never said they did. When the hell did I say that Egyptians used UFOs? I never said that. When the hell did I say that? I don't recall me ever saying that. What the hell are you saying? I never said that, man. Now, I believe the Egyptians seen UFOs. I believe they seen UFOs, yeah. But did they use them? No. But yeah, I agree they seen these UFOs. Just read the Exodus account, man. What is that? Exodus, I want to say, what is that? I believe the 14th chapter, right? The 13th or the 14th chapter, when the Israelites, are coming out of the land of Egypt, after the Lord brought those plagues upon the land, the Pharaoh was, delivering them, from them. If you read it, the Egyptians were like, they threw them out of the land quickly, because they thought that the next plague, the Lord would kill all of them. So they were like, hell, we better quickly throw them out of here, before we all end up like what happened to our, firstborn sons. And you know what I'm saying if you read the whole story. But, going to the point I'm saying is UFOs were involved in this, right? Because the Egyptians chased after the Israelites to the Red Sea, and overnight there appeared UFOs there, right, to make sure the Egyptians did not pass over, and harm the Israelites. It calls them in the scriptures like pillars of fire, is what it calls them. But the pillars of fire are talking about UFOs. It's not going to use the word UFO because that's just a modern, belief that people made up. They weren't calling them that back then. But that's what they represent. Let's see. If anyone has any questions, you're welcome. Any subject matters that you are interested in, you're welcome to put it there in the chat, and I'll address it. Let's see. Oh, oh man, Jay, man, I was actually just questioning Ridge on that like 10 minutes ago, man. Before you hopped in, I was questioning him about why you collect books and don't read them. You can look up in the chat and read about that, but but yeah, it's just funny, man. I asked him the same thing before you hopped in. Let's see. Let's see. He said, no, it's not gonna indicate pillars or UFOs. That's your interpretation. Okay, cool, man. But I gotta ask you though. Well, what are the pillars of fire? Like, are they actual pillars? Like, if you look at the oh shit, if you look at the say the White House or the Pantheon over in Rome, if you don't know what that is, look that up. But if you look at the Pantheon, on the outside of the Pantheon, there's pillars there, right? Those are pillars that's holding up the front part of the Pantheon. So my question to you, which if you don't know what that is, basically it's the same pillars that the these government buildings have here in America. All right, and pretty much, it's a worldwide thing, right? To use pillars on them. Matter of fact, I'm looking at 3 buildings right now to have small pillars on them. Not even joking, right? So the pillars, are you saying that those are the actual pillars that it speaks about, that are the pillars of fire? Like there was actually a stone or, wooden pillar in the sky on fire? Is that what you're saying? Because, I mean, you'd have to say that then. Because if it's not representing something else, which I believe it is, representing UFOs, but if I'm wrong, well, then now the burden of proof is on you to tell me what it means. And if you can't do that, well, then you don't have an argument. That would be as illogical as if someone was to say that Jesus is blue, but then you ask them, well, how do you know Jesus is blue? Then they'll be like, oh, well, I don't know, but it can't be black. So it just would be illogical to have a conversation about that because nobody can present evidence to support their statement. Let's see. Jay said the Most High has pocket dimensions where he chains up beings in prison. Well, I'll comment on all that and say this, that I wouldn't say I agree with that. I'd say we have a different viewpoint on that because the scripture that speaks about the angels that were held in chains of darkness, I'd say that's talking about the Israelites. So we'd have a different understanding of that, which is cool, right? I'll respect your standpoint on that, but that would be my perspective on that. I wouldn't say that it's that there's like holy angels, right? Like angels that are higher than humans that are being bound, like against their will, in another dimension. Again, if you want to believe that, that's cool, man, right? But I wouldn't be on board with that. Let me answer this real quick. Jay said, your different understanding lacks books I subscribe to, extra books that legitimately say that. So, yeah, I understand that. Like you're using Enoch, I see on in there from what you guys are telling me, it speaks about angels that rebelled against the Most High, right? So from your point, that would validate your point. But from my understanding, I couldn't agree with that because that whole concept that goes against the 80 books. Like I'll give you an example. What would happen if Jasher said that the earth is a round rotating globe? That whole concept would not be consistent with the rest of the 80 books, right? So that would make you question what it's saying, right? So if Enoch is saying there's angels who rebelled against the Most High, I would have to be skeptical of that because I don't see that notion in the 80 books, right? So given my statement again, if there's a book out there that claims to be inspired that says the earth is a round spinning globe, just to give one example, we would have to be skeptical of that because that notion is not found in the other books, right? So again, if you want to believe in Enoch, that's cool, man. Hell, you might be right, but you know, the whole concept that with angels rebelling against the Most High, and being cast down, I wouldn't say that's consistent with what I read elsewhere in the scriptures. But if you have a different viewpoint on that, then I'll respect your viewpoint, as I always said. Let me see. Let me get caught up on what's going on here. Uh, I'm just reading the chat real quick. Yeah, but Rudy, man, I'm just asking you that what do you perceive it to mean? Right, the pillars of fire. If I am wrong, fair enough. But I'm asking you, from your understanding, what do you perceive it to be? That's what I'm asking. Again, I'll accept if I'm wrong, that's cool. But I'm saying from your understanding, what do you perceive that to be? Because if you read it, it says a pillar of fire. It's like, okay, So either you have to say it's symbolic or of something else, or you must admit that you believe it's like a pillar, stone of pillar that's on fire. Like the pillars we see on, governmental buildings or the Pantheon over in Rome, right? So if you don't agree, that's cool. But now the burden of proof is on you to show me what it means. Okay, he said it's fire in a pillar shape. No, but it said pillars of fire. So it's saying it's actually a pillar. It's not in the shape of one. It's saying it is. So again, you must be saying that it's like a actual stone pillar that's on fire. I mean, you'd have to say that because it said that. So either you have to have the understanding that it's symbolic of something, not literal, or if you disagree, you must have the understanding that it must be literal then. Let me see. We ain't gonna go for too much longer. Um, I wasn't expecting to go in a whole hour. Um, yeah, but we'll see what happens. Right? We'll see what subject matters come up. But don't have to go just yet. Jay said, it states that the pillar of cloud, bear with me a second, went ahead of them by day to guide their way, and the pillar of fire by night to give them light. Large cloud of fire, smoke, and something glowing light. Has to be UFO. Yeah, it has to be a UFO. Right? It has to be what people would ignorantly call UFOs. Because again, if that's not true, what the hell could it mean? Well, what the hell could it mean? If our understanding's wrong, that's fine. But you have to explain what you perceive. Rudy, I don't know if you heard before, but my brother was given a dream. Uh, he had a dream of a UFO a couple years back, and one thing he was telling me about the UFO is what that had smoke coming up out of it. So how do they produce smoke? I wouldn't be sure, but we know it's an aspect that it can have by reading the text. How they generate it, I don't know, but it's there. Just grab a drink real quick. Yeah, yeah. Well, Rudy, he didn't like UFOs because he was only 7 years old when that happened. Just in case you didn't know. Let me see. Yeah, yeah, I agree with Jay. The object is giving out heat, so that's the fire, right? The object is, generating heat, so the smoke is coming from that fire that's coming from the object. That's the easiest way that you can explain it. And again, I'm still asking if our understanding is flawed. That's cool. Let's roll with that. But I'm like asking you, What do you perceive it to mean? If I'm wrong, that's cool. But from your understanding, what does it mean? That's what we're trying to inquire. Bear with me a second. I'm just watching something. Just give me a second. All right. Just reading the chat real quick. But Rudy though, why would fire take the shape of a pillar though? Like how does that make sense? So you're saying there's no physical object that's involved, but it was just like a fire, right? So it could go out, because there was no physical object that was involved in it, right? So it was just like fire, is what you're saying? And I'm just paraphrasing the verse off the top of the head. I believe, as I said, I believe it's in Genesis, not Genesis, excuse me, Exodus, what is that, 13 or 14? Right, dealing with when the Israelites, went over the Red Sea. Um, but it says that it was a pillar of cloud by day and a pillar of fire by night. So let's just take that notion that it is just fire. Well, what does it mean that it was a pillar of cloud by day? Because you said there's no physical object that's involved in it. So how could it also be a pillar of cloud by day, but a pillar of fire by night, if there's no physical object that is trying to describe? Let me ask you a question, Rudy. What are all of these unexplained sightings that are taking place all over the world? Like these objects sometimes are being recorded, flying 10 times faster than an airplane, right? If not faster than that. What are all these objects that people are seeing all over the world, man, that can completely disappear and reappear at their will, right? Fly, 100 miles an hour in one direction and come to a complete stop, right? Or go 100 miles an hour in one direction, then out of nowhere they can completely turn their course. What object can do that humans created? Because if you're saying it's man-made, well, how do you know that? Are you just reading something off the internet that told you that? Or like how exactly do you know if that's the position that you hold? Yeah, Luke, I will re-upload this video. I'm not sure if it will be up tonight. Possibly, but yeah, either tonight or tomorrow, I will put this video on public. As I said, it'll either be later tonight or tomorrow, because the video after I record, it takes a little while for it to totally register for me. So it might be tomorrow, but eventually I will put it public. Yes. Rudy, what evidence did you give for that? He said those vehicles in the sky are government made. Already gave the evidence for that. How do you know that exactly? Like how? And I'm asking you, like, what technology is there that exists that these things they can completely disappear and reappear at their will? But that's man-made, though. I mean, are you just repeating what you read on an article on the internet, man? Or like how exactly do you know that? It's not like you're there building these things, right? So you're just taking the words of someone you heard on the internet to back up what you're saying. I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just, hey, as the saying goes, I'm keeping it 100. Inside joke. Shout out to anybody who remembers that channel, right? Guy's name was Keeping It 100. Yeah, but we're just keeping it real, right? Keeping it 100, man. Hey, look, Jay, no joke though, man. I'm not even gonna joke around. Where I'm at, there's actually a Freemasons lodge. Like literally, I could get there in 2 minutes. Not even joking around when I say 2 minutes from where I'm at. There's a Freemasons lodge over there. That don't mean I'm a Freemason, but I'm just acknowledged that they're there. Just like there's, a Catholic church down the street from there, and then there's a Methodist church down the road from there, right? Uh, all right. Yo, it's funny, Ridge. I don't know if you called it or not, but after I was asking you about your book collection, right? Then when Jay hopped on, he asked the same question. So Rudy, then let me ask you this then. So from your understanding, what are the chariots of the Most High then? Right, like what object is Christ gonna return with? From your understanding. No, because again, if we're wrong, put that to the side, right? I'm asking you, from your understanding, what do you perceive it to be? If our understanding is not true. Okay, Rudy said he returns on a white horse. Okay, but here's the problem though. What do you think about Isaiah 19 or Isaiah 66? What about Revelation 1 and 7? It says he comes on the clouds and many eyes shall see him. So there's scriptures that say Christ returns on a white horse. Others say he comes on clouds. Other ones say he comes on chariots. So my question to you is, were some of the prophets wrong? Why do they all say different things about when the Christ returns? Is what I'm intrigued for you asking. Yeah, you're right, Luke. Right, and that's hey, look, that's a hard pill to swallow right there, man. Hell, it's a hard thing to find, people who believe in, Christ to begin with, because most people these days are, Muslim or atheist or whatever. But even people who do claim Christ, it's even 100% harder among them to find someone who knows that Jesus is a black man, which is true according to the scriptures. Right, the Most High and his son are black. And that's not what we're saying, that's what the scriptures say. And there's multiple precepts one could get to prove that. I am not one, just to answer your question, Jay. Though here's a fun fact though. Um my early childhood home, um from what I know, I believe there was one of those those places. Not too far from there though, like only a couple of miles away, if my memory serves me correctly. Could be mistaken on that though, because I was in that area earlier this afternoon. We were in that area, and I passed by, one of those buildings there that was only like, oh shit, maybe what, 4 or 5 miles away from my early childhood home, right? So yeah, they got one of those in the area. All right. Hey, look, man. I'll accept I'll accept your answer. I don't agree with it, but I'll accept your answer just for argument's sake, so we can move on to another subject matter. So just for argument's sake, I'll accept what you're saying. I don't believe in it, but I'll accept that as your answer. Oh, oh man. Hey, shalom to Galapagos in the comment section. Yo, Galapagos, I got a question for you, man. Why do you have IDL on your profile picture, man? Just messing with you. I'm just messing around with you. Let's see. Just get caught up on this chat. But yeah, Rudy, that's a real question though. Answer what Galapagos is asking, right? Because you believe that Elvis is coming back, which I mean that's just that's crazy right there. I'm very intrigued. Hey, look, Rudy, next time we're on StreamYard, you got to click the link. I want you to tell us about that. Because hey, look, your buddy Jurassic Liars, which is one of the people who came up with this nonsense, he actually stopped by one of our streams one time. We gave him the opportunity to hop in. He said he didn't want to come on StreamYard, so we're like, okay. We gave him an international number to call. He couldn't do that because he didn't have international calls. It's like, okay. So we gave him um, LOP's Skype so we could talk to him through Skype. And he didn't want to do that either. So we went out of our way and gave him 3 options to hop on with us and to have a discussion. And he couldn't do it. So we were looking forward to talking with Jurassic Liars, but he chickened out and wouldn't hop on. Again, we gave him a number to call. We gave him the option to call over Skype. We gave him the Discord link to hop on the Discord. We gave him, the StreamYard link, and he didn't want to hop in. So it's like, hey, that's on you. But we gave you the opportunity. Let's see. Rudy said, um, June and August 2022. Okay, well, we'll see about that, Rudy. We'll see about that. Just like what we saw happen with the minor golf's, prediction that Christ would return by January 1st. Oh yeah, Galapagos, man. Why don't you ask minor golf about that? Why don't you ask him about how he said Christ would return for the elect by January 1st, 2022? Why don't you ask him about that? Because you subscribe to his what does he call it, the sequence, right? You subscribe to the sequence, which that's cool. If that's what you want to do, that you do you, as I said. But about you got to ask him about that, man. That brings to mind, what is that, Deuteronomy 18:22, I believe it is. Right? If someone makes a prophecy in the name of the Lord and that prophecy does not come to pass, well, this is the thing that the Most High has not spoken to him. Thou shalt not be afraid of him. I'm merely paraphrasing the scripture, but you can read it yourself. near though. Bear with me first. Let's see. Someone asked, Luke asked, what are your thoughts on the legal system? Well, it's definitely going off. And there's guys going around out here like Perry, which I wanted to ask him the question on the subject, but he's so difficult to ask a question to. When you ask him about one topic, he'll go into his entire life story without even getting into the point of what you asked him. And then if you try to interrupt, he'll talk over you 50 times and ask you, do you sin or not? So it's very difficult to get a point across to him. So you got to be so what's the word I'm looking for? When you ask him questions, you have to be strategic with the way you ask him questions, right? You got to set him up for it, so he don't have a chance to talk over you, and tap dance out of the question. I mean, hell, man, with all of that money, because someone said that he was flexing 20K on one of his streams, right? He was flexing 20,000. I mean, hell, that type of money, man. Now, you should be able to go get a pair of tap dancing shoes with that type of money. Got to be tap dancing around those scriptures like the bottom half of Betty Ripson. Inside joke. Same thing what these Christian churches do. And that's another topic. Let me see. Yeah, I agree with you, Galapagos. That I mean, hell, could the Lord not return till 2024? Sure. No man knows the day or the hour. Could that happen? Yeah. But going by the way that things look, from what we're seeing in the world, not only here in America, but all over the world, it just seems very unlikely that this place can stay together, until that time, right? That's 2 years away from here. So hell, we could all still be here by 2024, sure. No one knows. We're taking it a day at a time, but yeah, this is just rapidly, diminishing, man. Everything is. Everything is rapidly, falling apart, man. I mean, hell, man, there's memes going around now. People were like, "Oh man, I miss the days when it was only the first crisis." You know what I'm talking about? There's memes going around. When the whole war popped off, guys were going around joking about, "Oh man, excuse me, when it was just the first, crisis that was happening." Because now we have World War III getting started. And Russia came out yesterday on live TV, and the news reporter was basically saying that, oh yeah, we're pretty much seeing, World War III has officially begun, is their exact words. Because they were, the Russians were angry about losing that massive military ship, right? It got hit by 2 missiles, right? So now it's sitting at the bottom of the sea now. I believe I spoke about that at the beginning of the stream a little bit. Let me see. Yeah, Romans 13. Well, Romans 13, when you deal with that, which we done lessons on that before, but Romans 13 is not talking about obeying the government, because it says he is the minister to thee for good, right? He is here to uplift the laws and the commandments of the Most High. So my question is if that is talking about the government, so by logical deduction, you must say that God's minister is a No, I gotta watch the words I use, but it's basically a rapist, and a rainbow, right? He uplifts rainbows. I was at dinner earlier tonight, man. Um, we're going to a buffet or something, and our server was what I which he appeared to be like acting like a female. You could tell by his voice. Was trying to grow out his nails, right, make them longer. And his hair, was in a ponytail in the back, and it was like dyed, in a certain color. So you could tell he was trying to like, act like a female. But the guy's, looks like he's in his late 20s, you know, looking like a woman. So that's madness. That's madness, man. But guess what? This government, they're all with that. Matter of fact, there's a law set up that, if you speak bad about some of these people, you can get in trouble for that. So you have to be careful of what you say. So that's wickedness. So if you're saying in Romans 13 speaks about obeying the government and that the government is the minister of the Most High, well, God's minister uplifts rainbows then, which is, rainbows are what we call these, men who lay with men. We got to watch the algorithm. All right, but that's what they uplift. They defend that type of behavior. But the Bible says that's a sin to death. So why would God's minister uplift that then? That doesn't really make any sense. You ask certain guys like GMS about that, and they can't really answer it. Sakari knows, though, so I'll give Sakari credit, right? They know about the breakdown. But all these other groups really don't know about that. So I'll give Sakari credit on that I teach the same thing Sakari teaches on that particular chapter. Hey, shalom to dawn to dusk. I believe that's Manny. I could be mistaken on that. Minor Golf was saying that was Manny. Could be mistaken on that though. But he can correct me down below. Just bear with me for a second. All right, you said okay. You're Manny. Yeah, man. I wasn't aware before. Like with LOP. You know, he's on the Discord server. He's changing his name every 24 hours. Sometimes he'll even give himself female names on there. So to have a discussion with him, I'm thinking I'm talking to an entirely different person because it has a whole different profile picture and different name on it. So it's like, how the hell am I supposed to know that's you, LOP, if you have a different name every single day I see you in a different profile picture? I literally 10 times now, he's talked to me on the server, and I'm thinking I'm talking to an entirely different person that I don't know, because it's a whole different profile picture and different name. 10 times it happened. I kid you not, 10 times. He fooled me with that. And I don't believe he intends to do that. It just, he's just having fun, trying to, change his name and profile picture. Every time it happens, literally every single time. And rightfully so, though, because there's so many names that you got to remember of people who stop by that, it's hard to remember, who someone is if they change their name, right? If they change the profile picture, when they count stuff around, it's not really easy to know who it is. You know what I'm saying? Let me see. Yeah, Galapagos. I seen that man, right? IDL. He made like damn 20 stock accounts, right? So we could hop on when you ban one, it can hop on the next one. When you ban that one, it can hop on another 5 others. When you ban those, you can hop on 10 more. I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy the extent that these people go out of their ways, just to hop on and to ask questions that you won't even respond to. So they're really just wasting their own time. You know what I'm saying? Ridiculous. So I might be closing up a little bit. If anyone has any other questions or subject matters you'd like to discuss, you're welcome to put it there in the chat and I will address them. We got 9 people tuning in now. Maybe we'll go for another 20 minutes. I'll round it out at 2 hours. I don't have to go just yet. So as I said, anyone has any questions or subject matters you want to discuss, just drop it there in the chat. Jay, man. Oh, man. I don't even want to think about 10 years out, man. You don't even want to think about that. Hell, man. It's it's bad enough how it is right now, man. It's bad enough right now. Just speaking for myself, out of, putting the truth to the side for a moment, right? Speaking about my personal life, it's bad right now, man. And I think a whole lot of people can agree with me on that. Minor golfing guys be there, making jokes about how I might actually be financially well and then I might just be joking around. No, hell, man. That ain't true. My life savings, I saved up, maybe $6,000, $7,000 for myself. And over the course of the last 2 years, right now I'm down to maybe, $10 left in my pocket. I literally, it's funny because I was at the food bank yesterday, right? I was literally at the food bank yesterday, getting some donations, and then these guys are joking around like, oh, maybe, he might be rich, he's just trying to joke around that he's poor. It's like, nah, not at all, man. Right? I wish that was the case, but no, not at all. But I get they're just joking around, right? It's just having a little bit of fun. But yeah, man, just realistically speaking, for myself, it's bad right now, man. And I really think that, hundreds of millions of people around the world, they'll agree with me on that. That hell, man, let me tell you this. I've always been poor, growing up, man. I never really had, much, right? Um, I remember back to school, there was, but I won't tell the whole story, but I didn't really have much, man. On TV for multiple years, um, I only had maybe, two kid show, channels that I could watch, right? I believe there was Cubo. You can look that up. It was Cubo, and I believe the other one was Cartoon Network or Disney Channel. Was the two that I had available to me. And the other channel was like a news station or whatever. A couple years later, I had pretty much access to maybe 80 channels. But, as I said, man, been poor most of my life. That's true. But, I would take 4 years ago any day compared to my life circumstances right now. I would take 4 years ago any day, compared to what I find myself in now. And that's just speaking as a man, speaking for myself. If I could choose between, living the way I was 4 years ago compared to living how I am now, in a heartbeat, I'd take 4 years ago, man. And not that I was doing financially better back then, but, right now is much worse than back then, man. And that's something right there because, again, I've always been, trailer trash. I've always lived in the trailer park. And fun fact, by the way, my first job that I got was actually at the trailer park I grew up in. Isn't that ironic? My first actual job was at the place I spent a majority of my childhood in. Isn't that ironic? Because what happened, let me tell you a little story behind that. We were helping some of my friends, move. They moved into the trailer park I used to live in because I have recently, moved out of there within like maybe 2 years. I was gone for like 2 years from there. But then they were moving, so I helped them move back, into there. And they actually moved into the house that was right behind where I used to live in, ironically enough. And then even more ironic is the house right next to them was the house that my best friend that I've known since I was 8 years old lived in, right? And I'm still friends with him to this very day. So we've been friends almost 10 years now, man. That's crazy. But what happened was helping them move. And then I got approached by the man who owns the community, which now that guy's, multi-millionaire, so they were looking for people to help around the community there, so they offered me, a position to work for them there, and of course I took it. But isn't that ironic? I got my first job working at the community that I grew up in most of my childhood. That's just a little funny story, isn't it? Let me see. Let me get caught up on the chat real quick. I don't like to ramble on. Damn, hey Manny, man, damn, 20K in the bank, man, you're doing better than mine. The golf is, man. Hey, look, 20,000, man. Hey, look, let me tell you something, man. Off of that type of money, I could live for the next 20 reincarnations off of that type of money, man. I'm the kind of guy I would consider myself rich if I had $300. Because I primarily live off of like, these cheap ass stores like the Dollar Tree, right? I like to take, the Wolf Pitts slogan, right? The Dollar Tree, he calls it, his own personal adult playground. I kind of take that notion as well. I live off the Dollar Tree. I've been doing that for years. I've been doing that for years, man. Right? Getting most of my stuff that I need to live, from those type of stores. Sometimes Walmart's good too, of course, because they got cheap stuff there too. Even Publix you can find deals at, but dollar store, nothing can beat that, man. But things are getting so financially bad out here for everyone that even a damn dollar store, and before they were raking in cash because everyone was shopping there, but even now they had to up the prices. And that's crazy, man. The Dollar Tree is no longer a dollar. Never before have you seen that happen, but now, that due to what's going on, that had to happen. And now it's $1.25. So it makes it hard to shop there now because before all you had to do was, get what you wanted, and then you can, count up the items in the cart, and you'll know, okay, well that's, pretty much the amount of money I have to pay, plus the extra dollar or two for tax, depending on how much you got. But now you can't do that because now it's $1.25 on everything. So if you get like if you get 4 items, it's over $5 because there's still tax on everything. It's 125 for the item, but they also have tax. I believe it's 7 cents on each thing, right? So it's not easy anymore to count up the price of what you're paying for. It just makes it more difficult. Let me see. Jay said, "LOL. Yep, I used to watch Cubo. Yeah, I remember that, man. I remember the Cubo channel. Are they still around anymore? Is Cubo still around anymore, man? I'm not even sure. But yeah, I remember that. I used to watch that channel. Same thing with oh hell, what was that one? Boomerang, right? Boomerang, Cartoon Network, Nickelodeon, and then Disney Channel, right? Those were all the kinds of shows that I um grew up with. Primarily though, it was yeah, Cubo, Boomerang, and uh and the Disney Channel. I wasn't really big into Nickelodeon, but I did watch some of those stuff as well. But for a couple of years, I only had like maybe 2 years, whatever. I only had like Cubo, but I was only like hell, I want to say maybe 7 years old, maybe 7 years old back then. Uh, Let me see. Jay asked, if what you believe in scripturally doesn't happen, then what are you going to be doing? Well, man, the way you got to look at it is, let's just say, because me, mine, a golf and Bible defender, we all would be, there could be a possibility that maybe the Bible isn't true. And that opportunity, or maybe, let me correct myself, that possibility, excuse me, that possibility is always there. And we're not going to know if it's totally true or not until everything, happens and that Christ returns. We believe it's true, but until that actually happens, no one can say for 100%. Right? So, if it doesn't happen, then you got to think about that. But right now it's looking like it's true, man. Right now, I think there's easily 100 reasons, of why, you should put your belief in the scriptures. I think there's easily 100 reasons why. Let me see. Let me see. Right, right. But I think Galapagos is right, man. Jay's asking, in 10 years, where will you be? And again, I had to respond to that and say, things are so bad right now, man. You don't even want to think about 5 years from now. Hell, I don't even want to think about, I don't even want to think about 2023, man. I don't even want to think about 2023. 2000, there's memes going around right now. There's memes going about around, 2000, 22. Oh, let me see if I can remember the meme. The meme was something along the lines of, 2020, I'm big bad year. 2021, hold my, beer. And then 2022 is the end of human existence. Guys were joking around about that. But I mean, it's looking like, that's not too far off, man. Because hell, I brought up before that the last couple of years, each one of these years, starting from 2020, they all started off with a big event. 2020 obviously started off with this pestilence. 2021 started off with the capital of America being invaded by its citizens. That was a huge event. 2022 started off with a war. So, that just seems weird. That just seems weird, doesn't it? The years before didn't start off with big events like that, but these past 3 years did start off with big events. It just seems weird. And then the other events that happened within the last 3 years, you can't even remember everything that happened, right? Nobody talks about the Beirut explosion anymore. Nobody talks about, oh shit, what else could I bring up? There's so much that went down. Oh, the La Palma volcano eruptions. The, I mean, there's so much stuff that you could bring out that happened within the last 3 years. It's hard to even remember. Excuse my stutter. I was about to say it's hard to even remember. That's a tongue twister. Hard to even remember everything that happened because there's so much. It's so much to happen. It's hard to even remember. See, I told you that's a tongue twister. Excuse me. Let's see. Let me say this. Let me say this. It is a wise idea, to store up, some preps. That's a wise thing to do. The scriptures say a wise man foresees the evil and he hides himself. So if you do have a few weeks worth of food in your dwelling, when people are running around out here with their heads cut off, looking for supplies, you don't have to go out there and get in the midst of all that because you already have supplies at your house. So yeah, there's nothing wrong with doing that. If you read the story of Joseph, when he was in Egypt, when they had the 7 years of plenty and 7 years of famine, they stored up grain not only for themselves, but so they could barter it off to the nations that would also be affected by the what's the word I'm looking for? By the shortage of food, right? So there's nothing wrong with having extra supplies in your home for, times of distress that's coming. We understand that that's not going to deliver us. We understand that. You have to be right with the Most High, and with His Son in order to be delivered. So no amount of prepping can save you. That's definitely true. But that doesn't mean that you're going off if you have a couple weeks of food in your house. There's nothing wrong with that. That would be a wise decision to do because when people out here who did not, store up any type of goods for when hard times come, they're going to be out here running around like chickens with their heads cut off looking for supplies. You don't want to get up in there. You don't want to go around when these zombies are running around. You don't want to be doing that. So it's a wise thing to have some stuff around right now. Why it's not a big shortage yet. Let me see. Yeah, yeah. Manny, I do that too, but I'm not sitting here judging if the person is white or black before I give them money because, and I'm not saying you're doing that, just to clarify, but because you said especially if they're Jake, so that implies you do to everyone, which I respected. I do the same too. But other guys will be like, if they see a white person in need, they won't help out. Only if they're black, they'll help. Well, you can't really do that because wait a second, just from a practical perspective, how do you know that they're not a confusion to face Israelite? Just for one. And then two, it's a kind thing to help a person in need. What did the Christ do to the Canaanite woman who came for, help from him? He helped her. That doesn't mean she's going to be saved because she was a heathen. But he still helped her though, right? He still blessed her and helped her out. That don't mean she's going to be saved, but he still helped her, even though she was a heathen. So we should do the same thing. If you see someone in need, hey, give to them. And I've done that plenty of times. It makes you feel good, to help someone out, who needs the help. It does make you feel good to do that. If anyone has any last minute questions, you're welcome to put them in now. Because we're going to be wrapping up shortly. So if there's any last minute questions or subject matters anyone wants to discuss, please do share them now. because we're going to be wrapping up very soon. So once again, I'll say it again. This is the last call for last minute topics and last minute questions. Bear with me a second. Oh man. Luke, man, you gotta read The Most Dangerous Superstition by Larkin Rose, man. You gotta give that book a read. I've been recommending that to all of you, man. You gotta give that book a read, man. And if you didn't know, he actually has his YouTube page as well. His channel name is Larkin Rose. Just type him up. Now he doesn't believe in the scriptures, but he is very intelligent with some of the information that he brings out. But I definitely recommend his book, The Most Dangerous Superstition. I give it a 9 out of 10 rating. You know, it was a very good book, very, very good read. You know, you should go ahead and give that a read. Or even if you go on YouTube, you can find an audio book reading of it in case you didn't want to pay for the book. But you can just pay $10 for it on Amazon. I got a copy of it. You know, it's a very good book for just $10, maybe 15. You know, so I do recommend picking that up if you're able to. Just trying to read up on the chat here, see if I missed anything. Once again, I'll say it one more time. Last minute questions and last minute subject matters are welcome at this current time for the next 5 minutes. And then we're going to be closing up the show for tonight. I do thank everyone for hopping in. You know, it was definitely good to have a chat. And Ridge, I don't know if you're still listening in, man. You know, but you can reach out to me. You know, I would love to speak to you again, man, because we haven't talked in quite a while, man. You know, as you know, a voice call. And here's a little fun fact. You know, me and Ridge Napper, you know, we've actually known each other for like 6 years, right? We've known each other for 6 years, if not longer than that at this point, man. You know, so you know, out of everyone else on here, me and Ridge have known each other the longest. Just a little fun fact to put out there. Yeah, I agree with you on that, um, Luke. Right, you're not supposed to be getting, you know, tattoos. You know, because I see people all the time, you know, getting religious tattoos as well, right? Like crosses or other religious, you know, sayings or stuff like that. I was like, well, what the hell are you doing? Right? You're not supposed to be getting, you know, tattoos. Galapagos said, flat earth boxer got a tattoo, yet he claims to be Moses. I'll say this, though, to be fair, maybe he got a tattoo before he knew that it was against the scriptures. Maybe that's true. So if, you know, he did do that before he knew it went against the scriptures, then I don't believe the Most High would hold that against him. You know, if he did that before, you know, he knew that that was wrong. But if he got it after the fact that he knew, then that's a different story. You know, because you're not supposed to be going around doing that. But maybe he got that when he was in the world. You know, so I don't know him, so I'm not sure. No, but if he got it after he knew that it was going off, well then now that's a different topic right there. Now that's going off. But if he did it in the world and he didn't know better, well then, I believe the Lord will forgive that. But again, if you did that after you knew it went against the scriptures, well then that's another topic right there. That's a whole nother circumstance. Yeah, Galapagos. Ask him ask him about that. Right, next time you see him, ask him if he got that before or after. He believed in the scriptures. Um, I'll round it up to 2 hours and 10 minutes, just because of my OCD and also because of Jay's OCD as well. Just in case you're still listening, then we'll let it play out for a little bit longer. Then we'll wrap the show up. Again, I do thank everyone for tuning in. It was definitely a good show. Every once in a while. We should be doing another StreamYard show soon. So do make sure you come hop on that. We'll bring people on the platform to chat and all of that. But another thing, I don't know why Flat Earth Boxer won't talk to me for some reason. I tried to have a friendly chat with him, and he won't do that. From day one, he doesn't like me for some reason. So it's like, what's up with such childish behavior that you can't even talk to somebody? He'll come on my platform and say, oh, I'm not here to talk to you, I'm just to talk to Minor Golf. It's like, wait a second though, like, could I ask you though, like, what is the reason why? Like, do you not have a reason why, or like why exactly? You don't make that clear. And then second, what is with the childish mentality? Galapagos said he's like good servant. Good servant, man. I tried to hop on to his stream yesterday, because he was doing an open panel on StreamYard. So I was trying to hop on so I could have a friendly chat with him. So he saw me in the back chat, right? He knew who it was because it had my face on it and ETT name. So he kicked me off of the backstage. He wouldn't let me on. So I went on a different account, to try to see if he would, let me in. But then when I confronted him and said in the chat, keep in mind he didn't let me, on the show to talk, in voice. But I was saying in the chat, hey man, why won't you let me on? I just want to have a friendly chat because it was an open panel, right? So anyone could hop on, he said, except for me, Minor Golf, and Galapagos, right? Well, we're not able to come on for some reason. But yet in the same sentence, he'll say that anybody can come on, which is, self-contradictory. But he's like, oh, maybe another time, man. So he was friendly. But it's like, why won't you let us on? I've been trying to hop on it and talk with you for 9 months, if not longer. And he just won't let me in. He won't let us on to have a friendly chat. We didn't even come to necessarily debate. We would have asked him certain questions, but we were just trying to have a friendly discussion, right? But he just won't let us hop in for some reason. Yo, Minor Golf, man. Hey, you showed up late, man. I was just about to round the show up. Hey, Minor Golf. I'm not on StreamYard, so I can't drop a link in the chat. My apology. I'm streaming from the YouTube app, so I'm not able to do that. Unfortunately. Minor Golf said I was golfing in Lake Jackson. Yo, Minor Golf, I don't know if you knew this, man, but I used to do my teachings, right? When you saw my videos when I was out on the street, I was actually teaching on a golf course. So sometimes behind me, if you look on the hill or in the plain behind me, sometimes you'll see, golf carts drive by because that was a golf course that was right there. Pretty much in Florida, in a couple of the houses I lived in, they were pretty much directly on golf courses. Like literally a 5-minute walk and you're at the golf course. Right, so the apartment complex I lived in, which is in the Champions Gate, Florida, was in the Champions Gate part of Florida. Not going to say the exact name because there's like 50 of them there. But it was in that area, right? I was directly on a golf course there. And then a few years prior to that, a golf course was like 5 minutes walk away from the house. So I pretty much lived on golf courses. Let me see. Yo, let me ask a question though, Manny. Weren't you didn't you uh weren't you on with the minor golf on his streams, man? Didn't you guys get along? Whatever happened? Whatever happened with that? Because I remember back in the day, man. Because I've been listening to minor golf since I was 15, right? I'm 19 now, so that's 4 years, that we've known each other for, that we've been frenemies. Inside joke. But what happened, man? I remember all the time you guys used to, do streams together. What was the fallout, right? What was the fallout between you two? Whatever happened, man? Oh, I'll say this though, man. I went to damn what is it called, mini golf, right? The mini golf a couple of times, man. I mean, hell, man. Golfing is hard, man. So I got to give you credit. You're good at what you do because I've seen your golf videos. I can't even do mini golf, man. And that should tell you something, but yeah, even that's hard enough for me, man. In mini golf, certain parts you're standing maybe 4 feet away from the hole, and I can't even get it in. So it's golfing ain't my thing, but I used to play on what is this thing? Wii Sports. You might know what that is. The Wii Sports, which mine are golf, you might be able to get one of those, man. They have like a virtual um golf game, right? So you can play golf from the from home. I mean, hell, man, guys are getting so clever now. I seen this one product. You can look this up on Amazon, but there's one product out there for you to when you're using the restroom, you can put a mat on the floor, um and you can basically play golf, right? They give you a little hole for the golf ball to fall in, and they get a whatever you call the stick, so you can play golf while you're in the restroom. A weird idea, but nevertheless it was a big thing, right? They sold a lot of those, a lot of them. Same thing with that whole pet rock idea. Look that up. Let's see. Oh no, Galapagos. Tony was the one who did 12-hour streams. Tony, right? Which we haven't talked to that guy in months, man. It had to be almost a year since we talked to that guy last. Which we don't want to get involved with him. That guy's just a damn joke. I believe he came over from Good Servants page, though, if the memory serves me correct. Because some of you might not know this, but me and the Mina Golf and Ridge Napper were on a hangout with Good Servant a year ago or 11 months ago. We all did like a 20 or 30-minute hangout with Good Servant. Right, so I was on there, Mina Golf was on there, Ridge Napper was on there, and Good Servant was on there. We were all having a friendly chat for like a half an hour. Maybe Mina Golf can re-upload that because I believe we talked about hell and if God does evil or whatnot. And I gotta give credit, credit. I gotta give credit to Perry. Oh, not Perry. Excuse me, I got it wrong again. To what's this cat's name? Good Servant, or a Good Serpent. Gotta give him credit. He accepted that the Most High was behind evil. Gotta give him credit. Because most people don't believe it, even after you show the verse. I'll give him credit. He accepted it without much of an argument. He was humble enough to do that, so I'll give him respect on that. I'll give him credit. Let me see. Which I'm getting ready to close out, because I've been on for 2 hours. Minor golf, man. If you're going live, I can listen in, but I'm not going to be able to hop in tonight. Based on my circumstance, I'm not. I have a difficult time, with being able to hop in because my phone connection, I can't join if I'm not in the house. It gives me a problem with it because it's not strong enough to hook up anywhere else. But I can't hop in, from home. So it's difficult for me. It's funny because sometimes when I want to hop on the stream, guys would be like, "Oh, click the link," but I had to explain I would and I would love to, but based on my circumstances, I'm not literally not able to do so because I can't hop on from that location and I can't go out and do it because the internet ain't strong enough to work for me. So it's a difficult circumstance I find myself in. So it's you do what you can do. That's the best way you got to look at things. You can do what you can do, and that's just the attitude you have to have towards it. Let's see. Yeah, yeah, that's cool, man. Maybe Jay can ask him. No, because yeah, we would have a friendly chat with Good Servant. We did last time we talked to him. But anyway, guys, I'm gonna have to end the show with that. Um, you know what? I'll just go 2 more minutes just because of my OCD. I'll end it at 2 hours 20 minutes. Damn, wasn't expecting to go this long, but yeah, hey, once the spirit flows, you gotta let it, bring out what it wants. You gotta let the spirit flow, man. Yeah, yeah, Perry and Good Servant. Yeah, those guys get along smooth, man. Those guys along hella good. Though I do gotta say though that what is that? I do gotta say that would be interesting to see the conversation how Perry would ask Good Serpent if he still sins. That would be an interesting conversation though. That would be interesting. So I think that would be a funny conversation to hear, but nevertheless, I think they would get along because they both believe that Jesus is a so-called white man, right? He looks just like Perry. Yeah, yeah, you're right on that, Galapagos. Damn. It's hard to even argue with Perry because all he got to do is ask you one question 50 times in less than 5 seconds, and he'll like overpower you in words. Whole that's why the guy was on there saying that we lost because you cannot even get a word in when this guy's on there. So it's difficult to even have a discussion. All right, but anyway, I'm gonna call that the show. I think I'm gonna end it there with that. Um, and my apology to Minor Golf. You hopped on too late, man. I was already live for over 2 hours. You were playing golf or something. Um, but yeah, thanks for everyone, that stopped by. It was a good discussion. Sooner or later, we're going to be going live on StreamYard. Everyone's welcome to hop in, maybe except IDO, because that's a little bit too much. But everyone else is welcome to hop in. And, with that being said, I'm gonna say shalom.